Down at the beach, so we know where lovers wrong. They try to get her to dance, then salty kisses in the sand.
All right, we're back at 7:10 here on the link. Wednesday, May the 4th, to be with you. And we have a special in-studio guest here. As it was announced yesterday that she has made the cast of The Ultimate Fighter, and so we want to bring on local MMA celebrity and superstar, Brogan Walker. Good morning, Brogan.
Morning, Chris. How's it going?
Good to see you.
Am I okay here?
You're good, yeah. Get a little bit closer. Right on. Sweet.
Cool.
So I don't even know where to start. I mean, because I follow you on Instagram, and I saw that you had you were posting a bunch of stuff about kind of going off island to pursue your dream, and so I had heard some things, but I mean, obviously now that it's out, can you just kind of walk us back to, like, I guess the beginning when you got the call, and how did you end up being on the cast for The Ultimate Fighter?
Okay, sure. It's very, very divine timing how everything happened. I had a fight last year in August, and I typically only fight during the summers because as you know, I teach first grade at Agani Heights. So I usually do camps and then have a quick fight over the summer and then get back to work. I did that last year, fought in August, came back home September, October, and I had the itch. I was like ready for the next. I had a lot of momentum. I knew that last camp had kind of like sent me on another level, and I was just excited to show everybody, like I always am. So I kind of pulled the trigger, and I headed back to Cali and started training again, hoping that I would get another chance with Invicta. They were talking about possibly like fighting for a belt. So as I was preparing for that, I saw my coach and my manager and I saw an advertisement that they were accepting applications to for casting for The Ultimate Fighter season 30, and it just so happened to be my weight division, and everything just kind of fell into place from there. I turned in my application, and casting went a little bit differently this year. They because of COVID, instead of fighting to get into the house, they kind of just went through applications. They did a lot of like interviews and stuff with us, and they picked us that way. So
wow, that was definitely different. Did you kind of feel maybe less pressure because you didn't have to go in there and scrap to get on the show?
No.
You prefer scrapping?
I do,
right.
Yeah. I prefer, like, typically, they see us hit the pads, they see us grapple, and I think that's where I really shine. But luckily I impressed them on the interview too, and I did well. I was saying that there's a lot of girls that were very highly qualified, but didn't make the final cut, so I'm really fortunate that I kind of like was able to play both ends there.
So let me get this straight. The show debuts supposed to premiere today at 11, but like the Supreme Court ruling, I don't know if it's been leaked out, right? So people are sending you like screenshots of the show.
So a lot of my friends, especially back in the States and all over, like globally, it's being released, I guess. I don't know if it's a leak or what, but yeah, it's technically supposed to be out today at 11, and a lot of my friends are, saying, that we already saw it, so that's pretty cool, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what can you tell us? Because I don't know. Because I've had like with when guys go off to fight in the UFC, or when Frank was in TUF, they couldn't really talk about it, right? So I don't know what to ask, and what can you share with us about the show and what you can say. So just go for it.
Okay, so I did sign an NDA. Everybody who was involved, had to specify that they couldn't say certain things, but it is coming out today, and like I said, a lot of the news is coming out. So this is the first time I'm able to publicly say that I was with so the way that it works is it's a team of 8 women flyweights and a team of 8 men's heavyweights, and so we had 4 men and 4 women on each team. I really lucked out, and I got Amanda Nunes as my coach.
Wow.
So her and all of her coaches were my coaches in the house. It was amazing.
How long did it take you to, or were you just fangirling the whole time?
So that's actually not the first time that I've met Amanda. She helped do the matchmaking for Invicta, and I fangirled on her like way back in like 2015.
So you were already used to it.
Yeah, and it was actually really cool because I did not expect for her to remember me.
Wow.
And so I'm sitting in there with all the other people that are, you know, fresh and new and waiting to see what team we're on. And she walks right up to me and goes, "Oh, hi, Brogan." And I was just like, I couldn't believe she remembered my name and everything.
Wow.
And I just like, so it was pretty cool. The whole experience was nuts.
Let's talk about because something you said, I cued in on it. You talked about the timing being divine, and I follow you, like I said, on Instagram, and I noticed that you do talk a lot about divine intervention, believing that God is setting things up for you.
Absolutely.
So share a little bit about that.
Yeah. Especially like right now, over the last few years, there's just no denying that there's a greater force working in my life, and I know a lot of people. There's times in our life, I might not be saying that a few years from now, and COVID has really presented a lot of challenges for us. But when Coach Berto always says this saying that when you're under pressure, it's either gonna produce diamonds or dust, right? And so when COVID happened and a lot of shows weren't happening, just normal life couldn't even carry on for some. So I just felt really fortunate to continue to be able to do what I do. And I just kept pushing forward. Like there was a lot of roadblocks on my way here, but like I said, the timing was all perfect. I had a really hard time resigning with GDOE because I love teaching.
Wow.
and I love my job, and really there's nothing else I see myself doing in the future. I'm going to be coming back to that, but it was a hard decision, and but moving forward, I see that it was a good move for me, and that's why I think that the timing of everything it just really worked out. I just had to kind of trust.
Yeah, and you see that a lot with the pandemic. I mean, we all went through the lockdowns. We all went through, the mental issues, wondering if we're going to make it out. And you're seeing that now that we're inching towards the new normal. And even before then, people like yourself, a lot of people, you look out and people are taking chances.
Yeah.
They're doing things that they've wanted to do their whole lives,
Yeah.
and they're stepping out and trying to make a difference. So good for you.
Thank you.
What about the training? I want to ask about that because I know you went out early and I was seeing you're training with like some big names.
Yeah.
How much preparation did you do to get on the show, and then what was it like after you made it on?
Yeah, all again with like the really perfect timing. My coach out there that I'm working with is one of my coaches that I originally started with before I ever moved to Guam. He started working me back when I was just a little karate teeny bopper. So
You were a karate teeny bopper?
I was, in high school. I did karate. I did soccer all the way up to high school, and then I really got into martial arts, and I was like, this is it. I like punching people and kicking people instead of kicking balls. So
Heads up.
So he's done an amazing job of kind of like not just building my schedule, but bringing in the right kinds of bodies and the right kind of people that I need to work with, both to get my striking on another level and also my grappling. He's not too concerned with my grappling. I feel really comfortable there.
Yeah.
So we've been doing a lot of work of wrestling, and then just the normal, strength and conditioning and everything that goes into to preparation. So
You talk about being good at grappling, right? So were you able to work a lot on the top game?
yes, actually, and a big thing about training MMA. Sometimes I look back at my PXC days, and I just look at like what a baby I was, and I'm like, I see how far I've grown. I'm like, how did I make it this far without knowing, how to properly ground
you
it?
did all right, girl. You did all right. Don't worry about it.
But as I grow and as I start to work with, like you said, like bigger names and just people who have been in the game. I've been in the game for over a decade.
Right.
And training with people who are on another level has taken me way out of my comfort zone and helped me grow. My wrestling is on like a whole other level. Thanks to my coaches out there and the people that I work with. And really I'm learning that just like striking is its own art and grappling is its own art, ground and pound is its own art, and wall wrestling is its own art, and there's just like so much there to learn. It's
There's
amazing.
levels,
Yeah,
right?
there's levels to it.
So you compartmentalize the different parts of your fight game, like which area. So ground and pound, you mentioned that. Like, did the wrestling really help you kind of be able to hold somebody down and just?
Yes, like working those transitions. Like I said, I feel comfortable once we're grappling and once we're in that kind of like scramble or exchange, and I feel comfortable when I'm throwing hands. But there's a lot of transitional time in between there, you know, like getting them down to the ground and holding them there, like you said, keeping the position, that kind of stuff.
Because I feel like when I'd watch you fight before, when you got people down on the ground, it's like we immediately started looking for you to submit them, right?
Right, right.
And so this is a little different for you to kind of like, you know, beat them down a little bit,
Beat
soften
them
them up.
down, and also just have the options, because everyone's going to react differently, you know. If I start trying to lock in that choke, somebody might be fighting the hands and scrambling, another person might be, you know, like throwing strikes. It's just being able to have the tools to deal with whatever comes at you.
Does it kind of freak you out when you talk about you've been in this fight game for a decade and even up to now you're still learning new things?
No, that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me motivated. Like, it would get kind of old if I just woke up and did, and I mean, I don't know. I love just doing the same things. I love the basics. But when I first went back to Cali for that August camp, my coach, his name is Batiste Mansouri, and he's coached a lot of people. He's even coached winners through the house before prior, some of my teammates. So he knows exactly, I guess, what direction to move me in, you know. And he's really just, he's helped with I guess, like, more of it for me now isn't like, what am I going to do when I get in there? It's game plan, and it's like being strategic and fighting smart. So we've been working a lot on that, and he works with a lot of really high level boxers. Like, that's where he makes all his money. It's funny because
Boxing's where the money's at, right? Yeah.
I'll have new students come in, try out our gym, and they're like, oh, you know, how much? And he's like, oh, no, it's okay. And I'm like, bro, you need to start charging people. And he's like, it's okay. When he holds for these big name boxers, he's making bank.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the things that he learns from them, as far as technicality, footwork, working inside the pocket, all of those things, when he kind of like shows me that, it's like I have a brain fart, because I've studied traditional Muay Thai for so long. Like, my stance has to be like this, and this has to be like this, and you can't cross your feet, and you can't do this footwork. But he's showing me all these fancy things, and when I start to use it, it's like, it's fun. You have fun with it, and you start landing it, and it gets exciting, and that's just the learning process, you know. As a teacher, I know that, like, the students aren't going to get excited unless that aha moment happens, and they're like, oh, right. So that's been happening a lot for me now, and I'm riding off that momentum.
Wow. I mean, I can see the evolution already. I want to talk just a little bit about the show, and again, I'm not sure how much you could say, but you're here. I see on your Instagram you're doing some physical therapy.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so I can talk about
with Coach
that.
Toss. So just, I mean, because I don't know what happened, but why you're here and what happened.
So I am actually allowed to disclose that, because it's more of like a personal thing that happened to me. It definitely affected me in the show. I'm very excited for you guys all to watch and kind of see how I deal with that adversity. But excuse me, I moved in to the Ultimate Fighter house for filming on February 8th. And I got selected on Amanda Nunes' team, got right to work. I was supposed to be the first, one of the first fights. But on the 11th, I tore my MCL in training. And that was the first ever serious injury I've had in my whole career. I knew right away that something was wrong. And
what happened? Can you share with us what happened?
Yeah, I was training, and we were literally just drilling, and we were doing a drill where I'm standing and my teammate was on her back. And the name of the game is she needs to kind of like make space and stand up.
Okay.
And I need to kind of keep her on the ground, right? So as I moved into her guard, she set up a heel hook, and this was like very early, so I wasn't too warm or anything. It was kind of like a freak accident. She set up a heel hook sweep, and instead of like, she didn't like crank a heel hook, but she set it up, and I guess I wasn't prepared. I kind of just planted my feet, and I saw my knee and my hip kind of just go all wonky, right? Oh. And I felt like a lot of pressure, no pop or anything. And I looked at my coach. She saw it happen, and I was like, we just both looked confused. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I think so." And so I kept training, and just like within the next minute, 2 minutes, it started swelling up. It started getting super tight, and when the concern kind of set in, I'm like, "Oh shoot, something's wrong." The adrenaline started coming down, and then there was just like intense pain. and the drama behind all of this did not help the situation. You know, I was trying to not be dramatic, but when you're already there and you're looking at this big opportunity that you have, and then something like that happens,
Yeah.
it was like very difficult for me to keep my emotions.
Did you get mad at the girl?
No. So I've been on the other side of that. I've seen it so many times in training.
Right.
And I know that there was no ill will, and that she wasn't being particularly what's the word? Aggressive, or you know, even like, I can't think of the word.
So there's an
she was being
etiquette
careful
when you do drills and you spar, right? And so there was nothing out of the
No,
ordinary.
and you know, these girls and guys are all professionals,
Right.
and so you know, we all know, yeah, it was no ill will. But so after it happened, I kind of went to the side. I had to like collect myself, and of course, all the cameras are in my freaking face, and they try to,
Wow.
yeah. And so as the adrenaline was kind of coming down, I was feeling the pain, and it was all kind of setting in that it was very possible at that point that I could go home
Yeah.
and be replaced.
Wow.
It was still really early. Like I said, moved in on the 8th, tore it on the 11th. And, you know, there were other health issues that happened in the house. Another girl had to go home due to, so I tore it on Friday night. I get the scan, right? And they tell me, okay, your results will be at the doctor's office 6 a.m. We'll contact you no later than 10 a.m. That's on Saturday. All day Saturday went, and I didn't hear anything back. All day Sunday went, and I didn't hear anything back. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, I was crying in bed. I'm just like, I don't think they got that part, but I'm just in there looking at my Guam flag, like looking at my Cali flag, like, I came here to do something, and it's very possible that I won't be able to to do that. And when I got the news, that part you guys are gonna kind of have to watch. But when I got the news that, you know, I tore it, but that I could continue, all of the producers were like very confused, because apparently there was a gentleman on last season who had the exact same injury, and he had decided to go home and not compete.
Right. And so was that a choice that you had to make?
It was, yeah. And it wasn't even a choice for me. Like I said, I was there. I knew that it was a culmination point in my career. It's something that I've been working for forever.
Right.
And if they tell me, yeah, you can do it, then they're going to have to rip my leg off
Yeah.
before, you know, until
Right.
they say no.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, it was a lot to deal with emotionally on top of everything else. And also it was something that I was like, I tried to hide from the other team. I eventually had to fight all those girls,
Right.
you know, so I didn't want them to know about my injury, and that was really difficult to hide.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you went on and you were fighting after that, and then how?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I had to continue with my matches. I can't tell you how I did
Yeah.
in my
Please
matches.
don't. Are you okay now?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's go flash forward. Get back to Guam. Still, after, so I injured it, fought, re-injured it, fought. You know, I just kind of kept going on it. So, when I got back to,
Okay, guys, you got that. She fought twice. Okay. Okay. So, you know, I'm keeping track here.
Yeah, I didn't think
Okay.
you would catch
Yeah,
up on
so she
that.
fought twice.
Yeah, all the fans are
You put
picking
aloe
up
vera
on
after the first one, and then the second
Yeah.
one, right? Okay.
coconut oil. Yeah.
So you're back and you're going to physical therapy, right?
Yeah, I wasn't clear yet to do jujitsu because a lot of the motions in jujitsu put strain on my knee in that way. I was able to hit pads. Running was still like really difficult for me after like the first quarter mile. I mean, I was running 10 miles before I jumped on the show,
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah.
twice a week. And I go to do like a quarter mile, and my hip is in pain, my knee is in pain, my back. So in the last like 3 or 4 weeks that I've been here working with Tassi at Custom Fitness,
Oh, Tassi.
Tassi, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
And you know, I came from working with experts at the Performance Institute at UFC. That's who was taking care of me out
Right.
there, you know, and seeing her do the same things and put me through the same kind of work, the same school of thought where she's pushing it to make it strong. You know, it's this, I'm not trying to sound cocky by saying this, but my knee is not just a regular day-to-day knee. Like, my knee has to put up with a lot of crap.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So I can't just get it back to like, oh, it's all right, it's cool. No,
Yeah.
I got to get it back to fight ready.
Yeah.
So she's really helping me to like push what I can do and get that flexibility, get that momentum back on my, it's amazing.
Yeah, she's a big part of our KUAM podcast network, and she was actually on here yesterday. So,
No way.
Yeah, I'll say hi to her for you.
I'm going to see her later.
I know.
That's my homegirl now.
Brogan, I got to ask, what does this mean for your career? Because you're upbeat about this. I know that you've taken your lumps and you've kept on going. Can you answer that? I mean, is this something that you can come back from, and do you plan to come back?
Absolutely. So, as far as the show goes, I can say that I did really well despite everything. And what else I can say is that moving forward, everybody that was in the TUF house, men and women, we all have a very, very good chance of making it on the big stage ASAP. Ooh. Because win or lose, we were all able to display our weapons, display even more than that, we were able to display our personal lives, right, and our mentalities and our character and all of those things. So moving forward, I think that I did a good job of representing myself, representing my team and Guam and Cali, and I think that from here there's nowhere to go but up from here. Right. Yeah. Wow. And just like I did when I signed with PXC, just like I did when I signed with Invicta, the plan is not to just like show up and, hey, I'm here. The plan is like show up and seek, dominate, and destroy. Right. Yeah. So that's why I also think that this timing is also perfect. Younger Brogan may have not understood exactly what we have here. Right. And so I'm glad that I've done a lot of I've just been really heavy on personal development on these last few years. Yeah, and I think we've had a couple of years to work on our personal development. Absolutely. So I think that's my trick that I got in my back pocket. Really is moving forward, no matter what happens, wins, losses, you need all of that, and I'm gonna take all of it and work with it, and just, if you don't quit, you're gonna make it. So. Right. I mean, I love the optimism. I just love your whole attitude, Brogan. So you're on the show, you're here now, and you're saying you did well. Do you think you impressed a lot of those people? Absolutely. I think I can say that, I can say this. Dana White specifically came over. White, guys. Dana White specifically came over. Okay, go ahead. Absolutely. Yeah, he came over, said what's up. He told me after my first fight that he enjoyed my fight, which was interesting because I kind of looked over during the fight and I saw this guy texting and I was like, oh, no, that can't be good, right? But it ended well. The fight ended really well. And, afterward, he did say good job to me. I was dumbfounded, but I thought it was pretty cool. Just to kind of the fact that I stood out, me and I think one other competitor, he did really well. He stood out. So. She stood out, guys. She stood out. Okay. She fought twice. Dana White was like, hey, what's up? Okay. And she stood out. All right. Yep. Yeah. Brogan, just last question. I feel like everybody knows about Guam already, but was there that moment where you had to be like, hey, this is where I'm from, this is what it's about, or were people kind of good already? There were all of those moments. So I was the Guam ambassador. I cooked Tanak Tak. I cooked Chamorro barbecue. I taught some Chamorro words. We went to a really cool, you'll see in this show, our coaches took us to a little outing, right? Can you say where it was? Where the filming was? Yeah, it was in Las Vegas. Okay. Yeah. But we didn't get any of the party nightlife. We were on lockdown. A little busy. We couldn't even go to the store. Wow. If we need anything, we gotta request it. So it was pretty. But I taught slinging, I taught Chamorro, I taught all kinds of stuff. You guys are gonna like it. You're gonna love it. Wow. Yeah. She repped Guam, guys. Yeah. Okay. And I'm just, I'm super happy too to be back here, be able to reset. It was a lot emotionally, mentally. It was a lot. You guys will see. So just being back home and pressing that reset button, still training, still moving my body, still recovering is this is the biggest blessing I could ask for. I know that I got to go back and I got to get to work, but being here, charging up, getting that quality time in with my friends and my family and my team has been exactly what I need. Right. Yeah. And I feel for you because you
are trying to get to that level. You went there and you proved that you can compete at that level. And with this injury, a lot of people, maybe like you said, younger Brogan would have been like FML or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
flip
absolutely.
the table, right? But
Absolutely.
I mean, you've been there, you know you can do it,
Yeah.
and I feel like you're only going to come back stronger.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it crossed my mind. Don't get it twisted. It crossed my mind. I'm like, oh god, here we go. I'm going home. It's all over. My life's over. You know.
Oh my God!
Yes, I
All right.
got really dramatic, so you guys can enjoy that.
Brogan, I know there's a bunch of people you want to thank before I let you
Absolutely.
go, so go ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks, Chris. So I'd first like to thank Lloyd Kubukup. He's been amazing at helping me out with everything. And I want to thank my sponsors. I want to thank Guam Visitors Bureau, Bank of Guam, GTA, Buckeye, Mosas. I want to thank my gym, Purebred Jiu-Jitsu. I want to thank Steve-O at Silver Lion Athletics for making me buff. I want to thank Renaissance Kennels, The Dollhouse, Maxim Consulting, Big Fish Creative. I also want to thank John Moffness and Deanne Torrey. I want to thank my coach, Stephen Roberto. I said Steve Oshiro, my coach back home, Batiste Mansouri, and then Patrick and Kunko, who I've been working with here. I want to thank Ollie and Dave, my sister Mackenzie, her boyfriend Clay. I want to thank my Sanchez familia, my Cian familia, and my Chargaloff familia. Thanks, Marky. Okay, love you guys.
There you go. Thank you, Brogan Walker, for coming
Thanks,
by.
Chris.
Hey, and just so you know, there was a little confusion with the interview. We've been doing the Zoom thing, and I was looking at the time, and I was like, well, it's 7:07. I thought, I didn't send the Zoom link, and we got a knock on the door, and I looked out, and I was like, oh, Joe, sir, I got this.
And me.
And it was Brogan Walker. So, Brogan, thanks. It's been
Thanks
a blast
for having
having you.
me. Thank
Okay,
you.
we'll see you. Hey, guys, we're going to take a quick break and come back with more of The Link next. Good morning. It's deep diving into what's making news, listening to your feedback, and getting you